Hey friends, we are looking at and studying sunsets. The world famous artists who started Impressionism. Can you say Impressionism? Impressionism, there's the word, which is what Van Gogh and Monet used, where they leave unblended, when we go back and forth to blender feathering, they leave unblended brush strokes, are the Impressionists. From the 1800s is when they started doing that. And this featured artist is William Turner. Can you say William Turner? William Turner is not only the name of the pirate from the Pirates of the Caribbean, they named him, he was first known as the world's most famous artist to do sunsets. And I want you to say reflection, reflection. I want you to notice our last thing. Don't start with the sun. First, we're gonna do the control drip over the sky, do our little castle silhouette, a bridge, a little bit of land, little island. Think about, I'm gonna add maybe a dolphin, a dog. Think about what you're gonna add in yours for personal expression and get your pencil. Step one, we're gonna sketch. And then we're gonna end with the reflection, okay? So I give you a frame in my class. I want you to get all your supplies out. You need a pencil. Your watercolors, I suggest doing a thicker and a thinner brush to 2 sizes. And I try to always get you a tissue and water if you're following along. We're looking at the elements of art and principles of design. We use these all the time. I teach you as we go, but today I want you to think of one of them. Can you name one? Ooh, I am gonna show you the word emphasis. Can you say emphasis? Emphasis. We're gonna emphasize the sun or moon and the reflection by doing it layer on there after we do the background to make it pop. So save your yellow for the color representing the sun, unless you want to do pink or whatever color you want. All right, your first thing, about halfway down, a little more than halfway down, you want to leave a large enough sky to do the control drip in your frame. Put a little dot where your horizon line is going to be. Can you say horizon line? Horizon line. I taught you to anchor your wrist and go from one side, maybe do a little dot on the other side, and try to go across really lightly. You could go back and forth doing a little bit of a scribble, because this is where the water and the sky are gonna stop. Now let's look at the Turner, because now we're looking at the Turner. Over here are some islands. Let's jetty out and in, do your bigger island closer, and do one little rocky jetty out a little smaller in the distance. That's called perspective, where things are smaller and they go back. Now let's work on your castle. Now, he has a church with a steeple. I'm gonna do a little cross for Jesus on mine. Do a little steeple with a triangle and just do a dark silhouette coming down just like Turner. And how we're doing it is we're not pointing down. We're using the side of your pencil for, can we say shading? Shading. Now he goes down and across, and he has this dark, foggy, like, I don't know if you knew the London fog, and when I lived in California, use the side of your pencil as we were drawing, and we were looking at his for inspiration. See the fog right there? Ooh, I'm gonna do that with some white paint. Now we're gonna go up and do some towers and then a bridge. And then we'll get started painting. All right, so day 1 we're drawing, okay? Day 2 we're gonna paint. Let's do some towers. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna just do little sticks where my towers are gonna be. And then I see there's a little bridge on this one. Now I'm gonna design, as a designer, my tower. I'm gonna do a castle, because I like thinking about heaven, and that's where we obviously are gonna shine. Your biblical worldview is let your light shine, Matthew 5:16. Or you could get a blank frame and do your favorite Bible verse or an inspirational word, as we try to send a message with our art to inspire others. I'm gonna make some windows on this, and when I do the sky right through this, it's gonna be see-through. Ooh, and I'm gonna do a little flag on this tower. All right, so as we paint over these buildings, you can then outline, can you say outline your 3rd day, because you know we've been working on layering and doing projects which take longer than 1 day, so it doesn't look so sloppy. All right, I'm gonna make up my own bridge here, and I'm gonna do an infinity pull with a water slide there. Ooh, you get to do it however you want. You're a designer. Now from here to here, like you wanna be, okay, on a third, rule of thirds is your sun. So about a third over, leave a spot, and then it's just all foggy and mystical. Do you wanna do the bridge? Well, then let's bridge it from his tower over, and he goes right off the page. If you wanna do a bridge with the arches. Do you have to? No. You can do a sailboat. I'm actually gonna add a little sailboat here. I've taught you guys how to do boats. You can add anything you want now for personal expression, but try to make it a dark silhouette. See, all this stuff is the dark silhouette. It doesn't have that much detail. Ooh, 2 horses. If you look closely, what are you gonna add on there? I'm gonna add my dog. His little doggy nose, his floppy ears. Okay, just do it really light and gesture drawing like his horses. You could barely see him. It's just using the side of your pencil and doing a little bit of scribbly. It's called gesture, where you just see the gesture of the wiggling lines. Now my dog is here. I'm gonna do my shadow, and I'm gonna darken under there, because if you see his, it might be 2 boats parked right there, and his reflection, see where you do the side of your pencil and do your shading? Make sure you get that for depth, where you use the side of your pencil and do shading from dark to light. I'm gonna do a little park boat here, or supboard. I'm gonna make mine a supboard, a modern day, okay? Because I don't think they had stand-up paddle boards and surfing back in the 1800s. So it's up to you how you're gonna design it, but everybody, let's do some shading now. And if you look really closely, these look like tents. Looks like someone's camping out here with tents. So add what you want. I'm not gonna spend way too long, but I am gonna add a dolphin. And don't forget to sign your name in the corner and your grade. Remember, when you paint, you're gonna stay in your frame, but go over the edges, okay? Because then when we crop, we're gonna crop just to the part like that, boom. So you get just what you want in your art. All right, so this, I'm gonna end my bridge here. Like the Golden Gate Bridge, where I lived in California and taught at Golden Gate Academy. I'm just gonna have that go there. Now my sun or moon, I'm just gonna lay out really lightly about, I'm using the rule of thirds, which draws your eye to the emphasis that we want. I'm gonna just lay out where my sun's gonna go. All right, what do I like to add? Add all your personal expression, because we're about to paint. If you're on painting, that's day 2 in this 3-day project, then you're gonna go at your own pace. Stop it when you want. Add all your pencil shading, and day 2, paint. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm gonna start with the color. They always tell you at art school, start with the lightest color, yellow. Okay, that would be the yellow, the golden color. Now, someone left these muddy. I had to go rinse them off at the sink. Please don't get your dark color in the yellow without getting a tissue and wiping it off. All right, so I'm getting my yellow, and if I go yellow right through the word shine, can you read it? Yes. So I'm first starting with my sunset. I'm looking at the Turner. See how his sun goes right down to the horizon line, his light color first, and he adds a little reflection in the water. Okay, then I'm gonna add a lot more water and do with you a control drill drip. If I start with my lightest color and go right over my buildings, it sets the pencil from smearing, and it's going to make it so you can see everything through. All right, I'm wetting the paper now for the wet on wet technique and the controlled what, everyone? Yep, the controlled drip. Now wetting my paper. Now, he has the reds, the oranges, all the hot colors. So I'm gonna go to orange next. I'm gonna, next to my yellow, see where he adds from yellow to red to orange. I'm gonna go back and forth, feathering or blending, so the sky goes in that direction. And then I'm going to do a little reflection in the water before I go to my red. I'm gonna do the controlled. Is it dripping? It's dripping a little bit, so sometimes you need to be patient. Then you rock it, then you drip back the other direction. You wanna drip it back and forth till you get a cool look that you like, looking at his. Now let's go to our darker color, red. People say, which one's red? This is red, this is brick red. I like teaching you to use your palette to make new colors. That's awful brick reddish. I'm gonna go back to this red. That's bright red. And then I'm gonna add, you could clean your brush and add a little orange red. I like that tone. That looks more like his brighter red. So you can add the color you want. And then, might want a little more red. Add it in, go back and forth. That's a good blood red, like his, okay? I'm gonna go straight in the red. Do your colors you want, looking at where his brightest red is, okay? So we keep looking at the Turner. I'm gonna have Turners out at your table, and now I'm gonna do some red reflection like him down in the water, okay? And now I'm gonna kind of let that set in the water before I do my bluish gray like he did on top of that for layering. And I'm gonna do the controlled drip. Before I drip it, I'm gonna get water going right towards the horizon line, looking at his, and that's how to do a replica. Right now you're doing a replica of the world famous artist who got famous for his sunset. If we owned his sunset, we would be millionaires. Okay, you can only see it at galleries. And all right, so you want to finish your sky before we end with our control drip. Then we'll go over the water and the land. You ready? 1, 2, 3, drip. I'm gonna go down a little bit, looking at his. Oh, now I'm going across. Oh, and across. Now you want to control your drip, and when you like it, you're gonna stop. Voila, and be inspired by the real artist. Over and out from today's lesson. I'm gonna keep making it look like that.